Indonesia seems to be under attack on a yearly basis. There's always one issue or the other. Now, in 2021, there was a flaw in the Health Ministry COVID-19 app, which exposed the personal data and health status of about 1.3 million people. In 2022, Indonesia Central Bank was attacked by ransomware, but said the attack did not affect its public services. Thanks to God on that. Now, last year, Islamic lender bank Syria Indonesia also was under attack. Now, the fresh one. A cyber attack compromised Indonesian National Data Center, disrupting immigration checks at airports. The attacker not only disrupted the system, but they demanded a whopping sum of $8 million as ransom. Vigilants, welcome to another episode of Veegilant on Veegilant Podcast. And you know how we do here. We're all about giving you information, creating awareness, digging deep into matters that you really do not know much about, or maybe you know much about them, but bringing in another perspective about it. And my name is Olaiton Babatunde. On today's episode, I have my amazing lady with me in the studio. Precious, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today, we're talking about cyber attack and cybersecurity. In the world of advanced technology, where we enjoy ease, a lot of challenges comes with the use of technology, and cyber attack is one problem every individual and organization has experienced at least once in their lifetime. I have experienced it before, but I just feel like it looks as though everybody has experienced it. Yes. You might not be so aware about it. This thing of someone sending a message, this spam messages, yes. And then there's this thing of people now start sending broadcast message. Oh, don't send your account number to that person. I think they've hacked their account. I would not ask you for money and all of that. But then what is this cyber attack? Cyber attack has to do with the intentional effort of stealing, exposing, alter, disable, or destroy data of another person without their consent. Now, this is where cybersecurity comes in, whereby you protect your privacy, you protect yourself. So on today's episode, we have with us in the studio an expert who is going to enlighten us and create awareness on cybersecurity, because this affects every individual globally, not just in Nigeria alone. And with us today, we have Ombu. Good afternoon, Ombu. How are you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon.
How are you doing? How is everything?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Thanks for joining us on the show this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So briefly tell us, what is cyber attack and what is cybersecurity? I said something about it earlier, but then, you've been in this field for a while now, and stuff about it, your terminologies and all that comes with it. So can you tell us some of the threats, what cybersecurity and cyber attack is all about?
All right. I really want to commend you for emphasizing on the concept of data.
Okay.
I mean, this whole thing is coming from data. It looks like it's not something of importance, but in the field of technology itself, digital world did not recognize you. The digital world only works with data, and then we have to ensure the security of this data. You see organizations saying that certain documents must not be leaked out. You talk about the hospital that gets compromised. Think of user data, different type of sickness, and then it's just leaked out into the world, and one person can just say so person is been affected by certain types of. So the importance of securing data is what leads to cybersecurity. Now, and how do we now ensure that there is data integrity, there is confidentiality, and then we also want to ensure security on how we make data available publicly. That is where cybersecurity comes in. Right? So that's for the protection, ensuring data is being secured, compliance, and then that is all about it. Nothing really much.
How about the threat?
Okay, as regards the threats, she mentioned a lot earlier. We have ransomware.
Yeah.
A good example is where I hit you, I encrypted all your files. You can't retrieve it unless you pay me some ransom. That is the idea of ransomware. Ransom means money. You have to pay me some certain amount of money for me to
get your data back.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have the likes of social engineering. We have phishings. As many as possible. Malware is another one. Those are some popular ones that
threats
I think people should be aware of.
All right. Thank you very much. So as an individual, like I said earlier, there was a time that I would say not really my information, but then it was just through a call, and then my money was transferred from my account to the person's account. What we usually know is send me your OTP. Once you send the OTP, they can can check
they
or
log you
do
out of
whatever
your account.
from your account. However, this particular day, I did not even send because I'm aware of that. I'm enlightened to an extent. Like, so you can't use that on me. This man was just on the phone with me, and by the time we were going to end the call, I noticed there was no money in my account again. Then I called him like, sir, and he said, oh, you think say you smart. So even without sending the OTP to him, he got what he wanted to get.
Got what he wanted.
Exactly. So can you tell us about the threat landscape when it comes to cyber attack and cybersecurity?
So the field is an evolving field. And when I said evolving field, I mean it's something that you can't even predict what will happen within the next 24 hours. Are you with me?
Yeah.
We might be saying that there is something called zero-day attack.
0 day.
Yeah, zero-day attack. And this zero-day attack is a type of attack that nobody have seen before. It's just come up. The same day it's come up. So no solution is aware of it. There is no digital signature for it. No tools that can prevent. So there are some attacks that are like that. So that's why I call it an evolving world. Different thing comes up every day. And then this is why you also want to be, because for your own situation, what I can say is the issue is maybe the way due to interaction, actually. I can't be so sure that they already have access to your phone.
My phone, yeah.
Through phone calls. That might also be possible. Somebody call you having direct access to your phone. It is something that is not possible. But what will I say? It's an evolving field. You can't be so sure. Because you have not seen it does not mean it is not there. It's not happening. So that's what I will advise.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so previously you listed some of the types of cyber threats, as the ransomware, the phishing, and the. So my question now is like, what rules now, like these stakeholders? No, we have stakeholders like the government, organizations, and all of that that go through that face this attack.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
So how do you think like they can improve their understanding? Because even me myself, like, I know about cyber security, but I don't really know much about it, and I'm just finding out today that we have ransomware.
We
have
have
this, like,
malware.
I never this. So
we have DOS too.
Exactly. So how can they improve their understanding on these threats that you've mentioned?
Threat landscape.
Yes.
Right. So the first thing I'm going to advise is awareness, actually. Organization want to carry out what we call cybersecurity awareness for their users. Because cyber attack comes from two means. The major one is human, and the second one can now be configuration issue. Do you understand? So if your users, if the member of the organization are not aware of certain things, are not aware that they are not supposed to pick certain emails or link through the email, they're not aware of some certain information, they can just go ahead and bring in something that can compromise the system, even though you have the right configuration in place.
Okay.
Now, the second thing you want to consider, let's move away from human errors and let's go to configuration issues. Right? And configuration issues, you have, let's say you buy the whole cybersecurity tools in this world, and you're not doing the right configuration with that tools, the attacker can still take hold of the system. Let's say you are still using a window that is Windows 7, and then there are all of these vulnerabilities associated with that window. There are something that attacker can do to take over of your device. Do you understand? That is the area of configuration. Organization also want to know the level of professionalism of people that they are bringing on board. And then I think the last one I'll talk about there is I can talk about sometime maybe they want to do simulated attack.
Okay.
So simulated attack is that the organization can orchestrate what we call a simulated attack. They might be the one that simulate the attack to the users and see the person that falls. So like your organization can just say, let's send out some fake emails and see the members that fall victims. So if any members fall victims, they can train the members to, you understand? To actually learn how they can recognize a spam emails and all of that. So there are simulated attacks, and we always advise organizations to do.
Okay. So you said something about the configuration. All right. So if I understand it correctly now, like an organization using Windows 7, if they don't upgrade probably Windows 10, they are prone to getting attacked.
A lot of vulnerabilities are there. You can wake me up from my bed and I will hack into Windows 7 because there are so many CVEs out there that you can explore, and you will take access of that computer.
So it means once there's an upgrade, it's important to also upgrade your laptop or something, or your Windows.
I won't always advise that, and I will also advise that. So this is why I won't always advise that. If there is an upgrade, you want want to wait for the community to test it before you upgrade.
You upgrade it.
Because you might upgrade to a version that has not been well tested, and then everything will go out of hand. I don't know if you had, the situation with CrowdStrike recently, and there is this blue screen on Windows. It was trending not quite long.
Okay.
It's because these people update their softwares, and then they push the updates to all devices, and then all the devices that use the solution get affected. Whereas I want to say maybe the solution is not tested well. So before you upgrade, you want to test, but also ensure that as soon as it has been validated that the upgrade is stable, you want to go ahead and upgrade your device.
Does this apply to our mobile phones too?
Yeah, also applies to your mobile phone. And I want to also emphasize that on your mobile phones, there are some things we call end of sales and end of support.
Okay, so can you explain what end of sales and end of support is?
End of sales. Look at iPhone 7, right?
Okay.
Apples will no more be selling like iPhone 7 right now. iPhone 7 is end of sales. Now, Apples can now extend the support that they are giving to iPhone 7, meaning that for iPhone 7, you can still maybe upgrade the iOS to 11 or later, but you can't. Right now, I don't think they're still supporting iPhone 7. You cannot upgrade iPhone 7 iOS. I think the latest iOS is 16. Yes. So since Apple itself is no more supporting iPhone 7, it is advisable that you don't use iPhone 7.
You have to get
a better version that can upgrade to the latest OS that they are using. I mean, right now, the reason why Apples will leave you that they are not supporting it anymore is because they know that can take over the phone and do one or two things.
All right. Wow. Thank you very much. I think most people want to know about tracking.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people do not want their messages getting tracked. A lot of people want to know who is tracking them, how they are tracking them, how did they gain access to my phone.
Okay.
Can you briefly tell us, like, what can people do in order to save themselves, protect themselves from being tracked? Now, it could be from a lover trying to track the whereabouts of their lover, and it could be someone that is obsessed about you. You might not even say yes to this person. You're not dating, but the person is so obsessed about you that they want to know everything you're doing. And then they start to track you and all of that.
All right.
Can you tell our listener what they can do in order to know if they're being tracked?
All right. The first thing I'll really emphasize on this is that most of the attacker taking hold of your system or tracking you actually requires your own permission at some point.
Okay.
No system is designed to automatically provision the service to them. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this might come, the issue with tracking might come with you just mistakenly sharing your location with somebody and you forgot to disable it. And that person might still be using that location because for someone to track you, your location service has to be enabled.
Okay.
One way or the other, right? For it to track you. The only thing that they can use to track you again is through IP, which is not valid most times, which is not that valid as regards. So you want to ensure that all those applications that you are downloading as well, and when they say enable this, enable that, you want to know what you are actually enabling, the permission you are giving the application, because anybody can take control of it. And then you want to also make sure that you don't just click on random link that anybody sends you, or just give permission to people access to your phone, because anything can happen from there. And then when someone is doing something on your phone, you want to know what the person is doing.
Trust nobody, be cautious.
That's one of the zero trust
so I heard of something. I don't know how true it is though. Sometimes, I think 2 months ago, a friend of mine went for a press conference, a media personnel, and he said during this day, like, an expert came and they were telling them stuff that there's a website that exists presently where you can pay, I think, about 15 naira or 100 naira to get information of anybody in Nigeria.
Okay.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's very possible.
Very possible.
He said, I don't know how true it is, but he said the guy showed them proof right now, told them to go and check it, pay 100 naira.
It's very possible.
To the richest man, you can get access to that person.
Okay, it's very possible. But the data that you'll be getting from that website might be limited because it will be your public record. A good example is one time I'm doing an information gathering on myself and I look up my name in Google and it brings my name as part of the people that benefit from a particular scholarship. Right? And that scholarship is limited to a certain area, meaning that you have to come from a certain place to be part of that scholarship. So anybody that gained that information can automatically tell that Humble is coming from so place. He is benefiting from the scholarship. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to say that there are public records that are there, and this is why you want to also look up yourself. You want to see how much of information you have given out there for free. Yeah, because these are the data that can actually prove. I mean, your mobile app did not know anything, did not know you. It only knows data. So if I go to your bank and I provision your BVN and it's your BVN that they need to send me money, then that means I'll get the money because that is the data that they need. So
all right.
You want to check a public record, what you have on there, and ensure that you don't have anything that can compromise you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about emails.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about emails. We have spam messages,
but
then there are even some messages that do not come in as spam message, just come in as a normal email. Okay, so I came across one email that came into my phone and was saying that, if I want to apply for this job, and presently the situation of things in Nigeria, any job. But then I was also skeptical because I was scared. I was scared of giving access to people that I don't trust. I was scared of clicking on it. How do people know that this particular message is one that I must not click on?
That's a very great question.
All right.
Number one, I want to let you understand something that we have solutions out there that filters email, and we'll be able to say that this is spam and this is not spam.
Okay.
So if there is any emails that beats that solution, that does not drop in the spam folder and landed in your mailbox, sometimes you'll be like, okay, it's like a legitimate email, right? Now it is not a legitimate email. So the idea, let me just explain what happened there. What happened there is probably the sender has not been blacklisted.
Okay.
The proper configuration is done, SPF, DKIM, and all of that is done, and then the email is categorized to be coming from the legitimate source.
Okay.
So the source has not been blacklisted in any way. So it will give you the algorithm, or the tools will give it an access to drop in your inbox. And when this may come into your inbox, when you read a mail, the first thing you want to see, any email that need you to do something, first thing you want to see in the mail to recognize that it's a spam email or some sort is the urgency. Urgency. If somebody is saying you should do this, please do it, and in 3 days it's going to expire, and all of that. Please take
it, you people.
Just calm down, guys. It's not going to expire. Nothing is going to expire. So if somebody is also sending you an email and asking you to click a link, probably not saying it will expire or something, but anything juicy and click a link and all of that. I mean, if it's your bank account, you want to just go to your bank app and check the stuff. You don't even need to click a link. Just go to Google, search about these people, know what they deliver. You will see people rating them if they are true or false. And all of that. And that is a place. But take note of urgency, take note of spelling, because it's not going to be professional. You have to take note of spelling. How does this person compose its stuff? And then you want to take note of legitimate domain names. I might be sending you something from Veegil.com, and then I might remove one E from the Veegil. And my own domain might be Veegil.com. And then you just saw it and you just click on it.
We need to check well.
You need to check well to ensure that this is actually coming from legitimate source.
But we all know that sometimes the domain name of a legitimate source expires.
Sure.
And sometimes someone like me can still spoof domain name as well. It's possible that domain can be spoofed.
Okay.
Yes, it's very, very possible. That
what does it mean to spoof a domain name?
Okay, it's not like you're spoofing a domain name. What you're actually doing is that it's actually an impersonation, basically, where I tend to spoof a domain and I sent you an email, and the email will be carrying that domain name. The valid domain name. And what really happened there is because some organization did not have the proper configuration in their DNS. And when this configuration are not in place, the whole DNS itself will not be able to verify the email against the original email server where it's supposed to come from. So if it can't verify this, it's just allow it to land in your inbox. I don't know if it's a little bit clear. So the whole concept there is that somebody is spoofing somebody's domain, impersonating the company, and 100% of it. And this problem is because the person that is impersonating did not do the proper configuration. Because if you have done the proper configuration, the email will not have come in. It won't have been able to spoof them.
Okay, so back to buying the domain name. If I buy the domain name of probably Veegil or let's say UBA Bank or something, do I get full resource?
Okay, full access to
Yes,
UBA
to
data.
access?
No, that's not how it works. Number one is if UBA domain name is still active, you can buy it. Are you with me? Number two is if you buy any domain name, you will still have to do some DNS configuration. That DNS configuration requires you to also provision your own personal public IP when you're doing it. So most time, not going to work like that.
Thank you. As an individual, how can I protect myself from hackers? And also, how can I recover the data that have been stolen from me?
Oh, okay. Let's go to disaster recovery.
Okay.
It's also a very important very important feature in cybersecurity. Not just an individual organization also have what we call disaster recovery in place. Your data should not just be stored on your computer alone. You want to have OneDrive and others, SharePoint and other solution, Nextcloud and others where you can keep
your data,
your files as well. So that if your computer get compromised, if you lost it as well, your data is still somewhere. You can always go back to that place and get it back. So I think if you're using Gmail, there's a drive.
Okay.
And that drive is up to like 50 gig or something.
Yeah, sure.
So you can put everything in your drive. Anytime you log in your Gmail in another phone, your files will still be in your drive because it's a cloud thing. So that's one ways of ensuring disaster recovery. That's the second question. The first one is
how can I protect myself from hackers?
So how do you want to protect yourself from hackers? Number one is to be aware of their patterns. Really, you need to be aware of their patterns. Number two, I don't really think hackers come for individuals.
Okay, they go for organizations. So for organizations too, how can they protect themselves?
But then I'm not saying like a random individuals. If you have it, hackers will come for you.
Okay, sure.
So this is how you want to also protect yourself against that. You probably want to be very, very careful about the information you are giving out, number one. And you want to be very, very careful about the information you are receiving. That is the integrity of any information that you are receiving. So if I send you an email and I say that I am in so problem and I need $5,000 and I need you to send it to me, first thing you want to do is to verify the email over phone call.
Okay.
Like, okay, I got an email from you right now in Humble. What is going on? Is this email true? That is the integrity of the data. You're trying to validate the integrity of the data. Information that you receive is very, very important, right? To ensure that you are not sending money to the wrong person. Yes. Yeah, to ensure that you are not complying to somebody that is trying to impersonate another person. So that's very, very important.
All right.
Last one, you can do information gathering on yourself. You can see how well your information is out there, and you can see what people can do with the information that you already have in public.
All right. Okay. Now, in a situation whereby this data that is out there is more like it was submitted to the government. It's a government kind of data. Let's say NIN. We have NIN. And then let's say there's a hacker somewhere that is so good and was able to hack into it and is making use of those informations. As an individual, can I sue the government for letting my informations out? Okay, let's come back to the information you put out there by yourself that people can use to impersonate you. That does not have anything to do with the government or anything. Yeah. So that's why you see celebrity can easily be impersonated. Yeah. Because they have too many things out there. You see them today, they post where they are today, they post where they are tomorrow. All of that, somebody can easily come up with schemes to pretend to be them. Now, let's come back to how things work with governments and with organizations. So, organization mainly ensure protection. There is we have NDPA, Nigeria Data Protection Act, that govern how data must be protected, and then it also have all of the compliance that organizations should ensure or should put in place to ensure that data are not being lost or stolen. And it also puts in place what must be done. I think the latest one says that an organization will be paying 2% of their GP if they are breached.
That is the NDPA.
Yeah, NDPA, Nigeria Data Protection Act. Okay. So you probably want to take a look at that as well if you are in the field and see there are cost implications to this as well that they have put in place that regulate all of these stuff. So you really don't need to do much. I don't even think your NIN can be hacked by somebody. Okay. But then you know that this is
it's just an assumption.
Yeah, just an assumption. So if the government is giving an access to a third party to tap from the data, like your bank will be leveraging on the government's NIN or the BVN to do something. Your bank will need to have something in place before they can have access to that data. Okay. You understand? And that thing is what is ensuring the security of that data, whether at rest or in transit.
Well, I think BVN can be hacked though, because there's this friend I work multi-choice. So I think 2 years ago, he started saying he got a new number. He created a broadcast list. Started sending to his contact that they should get any information of people messaging us that he borrowed money or what have you. Because he said that on his way to work, or I'll be back from work sometimes ago, then that he lost his phone inside Keke. So he said those people, whoever took the phone, gained access to, I don't know this, and they started using it to collect money from different things.
Yeah, it's possible.
And he has been receiving calls from different people. So the person that even first called was his sister called him, and somebody called her. You know that he lost that phone. So before he could retrieve the line, and he got a new line. Like Star said, dude, what's up? That so person called. This is a message. But even myself, I got a message and I had to screenshot and send to that person.
Where you know that on your phone you can actually dial some numbers that will give you your BVN numbers directly. So if I gain access to your phone, I can just dial some OTP. As far as it's the SIM card or the phone number that you used to register, it's always going to return your. So it's not like the system can be hacked. Do you understand? I'm not saying the system cannot be hacked as well. I'm just saying that an attacker needs to go extra miles because they also have the solution in place that are protecting the system from being hacked.
All right.
You get.
Thank you very much. So we would like you to give our listener a take on anything about cybersecurity, anything on how they can protect themselves.
Exactly.
Please.
Oh, okay.
You have the floor.
Like my phone now. Why can I protect my mobile phone? They should not have.
All right. For individuals, my advice would be that you always you can stay up to date because you're just an individual. You have things to do in your life. It's not like it's your career. Are you with me? But be very careful with how you consume information and validate information. Right? Don't live that life of just hearing, please send me so money, I am broke. And because you trust that person, you just go ahead and send the money. And then your emails, it's always going to come through emails most time. Send you an email to click on a link. Please ensure that you're also verifying. If it is your bank, go directly to your mobile app and do whatever you have to do. And then staying aware is one thing. And then also try to learn some other preventive measures. A good example would be that don't use the public Wi-Fi if you want to log in your bank account.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All of us are looking for free Wi-Fi.
Like seriously, because out there, a lot of people, when they see free Wi-Fi, in my organization, I think there was one issue at one time that they called my creative director and they were like, see, your Wi-Fi is already causing issue in this environment. People are already fighting. People would literally go to the back of the organization and start downloading stuff. So for people that likes freebies, this is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know, right? Please don't use the public Wi-Fi to access your anything related. You can use it to download. It's okay to download any private thing that requires you to put your username and password, because this data are being transmitted, and then the way it's being transmitted is that it's transmitted as a packet.
Okay.
And then if somebody is there capturing the entire packet in the network, that person can see your username and password in plain text if the data is not encrypted. Now, if it is even encrypted, the encryption will still be around the same password that you used to authenticate into the Wi-Fi. Yeah. So it can always be recovered at any point in time. Wow. So that is another thing. So learn out of scope stuff that you think can help you to prevent yourself. When you start seeing your phone doing one kind, or when you realize that somebody is taking control of your phone, it is very easy. You probably want to reset factory. I know you don't want to do that. I know you don't want to lose everything, but then you have your iCloud here. You can back up things. You have your Snapchat. Things are backed up. So every other thing you can just back it up. That's very important, and wipe it. So the moment you wipe it, I think everything goes. Yeah. And then it starts from beginning again. So
you start from scratch again.
Now, as for organization now, number one, you want to orientate your users day by day, not day to day, maybe one program or two programs in a month to let them know what they need to do and what they need not to do so that they don't bring threats to your organization. You might have everything in place, but it will always come on board. The threats will always happen. Number two is some organizations have started looking at what we call managed services. Managed services is like, okay, your employee, your cybersecurity guy is going on a leave. Who will be looking after your entire infrastructure? What happens when your cybersecurity guy is sleeping and somebody is trying to hack into the system at night? You can look for a managed service in cybersecurity, somebody that can organization that provision 24 hours managed service that will be there 24 hours looking at whatever that is going on. on, filtering the packets, doing all of those cleanup and all of that. There is cybersecurity insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, just like you have your health insurance. There are organizations out there that are ready to cover all expenses if you ever fall under data breach or kind of data attack. So, but you also have to need to have some things in place as well. You want to look at that. And I think the last one I would talk to organization is the upcoming zero trust access control.
Okay.
Yeah, look into that solution. It's a very, very beautiful solution out there. It's not like a solution, it's a model, but it's built into solutions. Okay. So you want to look at solutions that have a zero trust access control, and then that will also help.
All right. Thank you very much. I would want to recap this for a listener to, take this in very well. So when you want to click any emails, please check the spelling of the wordings that comes with it. Like I said, there would always be mistake. Mm-hmm. And also legitimacy of domain. If your bank name is UBA, there's probability it is OBA you're looking at, but because you're in haste and because you're so scared, you're not checking your domain and the link you're looking at. Please check it very well. And lastly, urgency. Once you start saying, please, in the next 3 days, in the next 1 hour, this thing will expire, you let it expire. Move on from there.
Run away from free Wi-Fi.
And then run away from free Wi-Fi. Just buy data. It's not that hard though. Life no day hard like this. So. And also, please be careful of the things you enable your app to do. Do not grant your app much access into your data and all of that. Be sure of the data you're putting out there.
Now, where they trust person, trust nobody.
Exactly, trust nobody. Even the person sitting next to you right now, look at his face and be like, I don't trust you.
If you run your street,
so probably he's just trying to check some things you are typing on your phone so that I can use it against you. Yeah. So please protect yourself. You're your own priority. I used to say that you're your own priority. And that will be all on today's episode. But before we leave, I would like to say thank you once again to our guest on today's episode. Ombu, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and once again to Precious, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So I would also want to say thank you to Grace, Amina, and Toby for joining us in the studio. We love you. So that will be all on today's episode. Until next time, do have a great day.
All right.